Hello, beloved. Welcome back to God's Message Today channel, your safe space to remind you that God is working and is still around all of us. This is not just a channel, but a community of people who are reminded every day who God is, so we won't forget Him in this busy world. If you are new here, I warmly welcome you to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you will be part of this growing community, and you won't miss it when a fresh word of God is released just for you. Today's prophetic message is for you, and the title alone may have pulled something deep out of you. You are moving to a special place, you and your family, but this move will cost you this much. This title hit you because something inside your spirit knows it's true. Something is shifting. Something is calling you out of where you are into what's been prepared. But before we dive deeper, pause and comment your prophetic words below. Say, "God be with me," or "I receive," or anything you feel in your spirit, because something holy is moving and it has your name on it. Now listen carefully. This isn't just a new season, it's a divine relocation. A movement not just of geography, but of calling, spirit, and legacy. And the reason this word found you is because you've already been feeling it. That tug, that stirring, that sense that you don't belong in the place you're in anymore. Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, relationally. And God is confirming to you today, you are being moved. And this move isn't just for you, it's for your bloodline, for your children, your children's children, for every person tied to your obedience, because this shift isn't random, it's generational strategy. And the Lord is saying, I'm preparing a place for you that your trauma won't follow you into. A space where your name will be honored, not hidden. A territory where your gifts will no longer be suffocated by fear or familiarity. But the truth is, this move will cost you, and that's the part nobody talks about, that the glory comes with a price. Not money, but separation, obedience, trust, that to move into what's next, you have to let go of what's been. And that means letting go of the version of you that got comfortable with being needed but never nourished, celebrated but never seen, tolerated but never honored. And God is saying, I'm calling you out, just like I called Abraham. Go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you. Genesis 12:1. And Abraham didn't even know where he was going. He just trusted the voice over the map. And so must you, because where God is taking you next, you won't find it on Google. It's revealed in obedience, confirmed in faith, and received through sacrifice. And yes, it will be uncomfortable at first. Yes, you will have to move in faith when the money doesn't match the mission yet. Yes, some people won't understand, but the move is necessary, and it's holy. And that's why you've been feeling displaced in familiar places, uncomfortable, in circles that used to affirm you, restless even in blessings that once fulfilled you, because God has upgraded your calling, and now your environment must match. This is not punishment. This is promotion. Enlarge the place of your tent. Stretch your tent curtains wide. Do not hold back. Isaiah 54 banding dua, and that stretching is the cost. Your old comfort zone is too small for what God wants to do through you now. And He's not just relocating your body, He's relocating your mindset, your identity, your expectations. You're not who you used to be. And this new land requires a new posture. So yes, it will cost. It will cost your fear, your excuses, your need for everyone's validation. It will cost your silence, your hesitation, your apology for being anointed. But what you'll gain will be worth every tear, every delay, every goodbye. You're not just moving physically, you're crossing over spiritually. And this time your family is coming with you. No more carrying promises that never manifest. No more being the only one awakened in a house full of confusion. This time, your obedience will drag the whole family into breakthrough. And you'll look back and say, it was expensive, but it was worth it. So remember this. July isn't just the 7th month. It's the month of completion. The time when what God started begins to make sense. And this message is your confirmation. You are moving, you are shifting, you are stepping into the prepared place. But it will cost you your comfort, your fear, your delay. And this Friday, or sooner, you'll feel it begin. And the moment it begins, say to yourself, this is the move I prayed for. Now I must walk through it. You asked for the move. But what you didn't realize is that before God moves your life, He shakes your circle. And this is where most people start to question what's happening, because what starts as a season of promise begins to look like a season of loss. And that's where you are right now. Relationships are suddenly tense. Old friends feel distant. People you once relied on are giving you silence instead of support. And you've been asking, God, why does it feel like I'm losing everything right before the blessing? And the Lord is answering you today through this word, because you're not being punished, you're being positioned. And the first cost of the move is always relational pruning. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit He takes away, and every branch that bears fruit He prunes, that it may bear more fruit. John 15:2. And beloved, the pain you're feeling right now is not rejection, it's pruning. It's heaven cutting back the voices that can't walk with you into the next territory. It's God removing confidants who secretly carry jealousy. It's your spirit outgrowing the space of familiarity. And no, it doesn't mean they're evil. It means they're no longer assigned to the next chapter. And if you don't let them go, you'll try to carry comfort into a calling that requires consecration, and the move won't hold. Because what God is building through you now is too holy to be carried by people who only saw you in your wilderness. And that's why it's been feeling lonely lately. You're not crazy, you're not dramatic, you're in transition. And transitions are noisy on the inside and quiet on the outside. And just like Joseph, your favor is starting to attract spiritual tension. But remember what happened before he wore the robe in the palace. He lost the coat in the pit. And some things are falling off of you now, not because you're failing, but because your favor is evolving. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. Genesis 5:20. And that's the truth. What's happening around you feels like loss, but it's making room for multiplication. And God is saying, I know you miss them. I know you thought they'd come with you. But this next move requires room to breathe, and they couldn't handle the air up there. And what's shocking is how quietly the detachment is happening. No arguments, no fights, just slow, emotional distance. Because when the assignment is over, the grace dries up, and God doesn't need to make it dramatic. He'll just shift hearts, reassign affections, close access, and let time reveal what's no longer aligned. And you've been crying, not because you're bitter, but because you feel the weight of change without a full explanation. But here's the prophetic word. Peace doesn't always come with answers. It comes with obedience. And right now, your obedience is not to fix what God is removing, but to surrender the illusion that you need their approval to be qualified. Because where you're going, favor will speak louder than your history. And this move won't require you to prove anything. It will prove itself. But you must let the pruning finish. And I know it hurts. But look again. You've been more focused, more prayerful, more humble, more still, because pruning always sharpens purpose, and what God is preparing is too expensive to be shared with everyone. And He's saying, I'm not isolating you, I'm insulating you, so when the time comes and the breakthrough manifests, no one can say they built it for you, only I will get the glory. And though it feels like a silent goodbye, you're walking into a loud beginning, so let them go with love and trust this. Every subtraction right now is setting up a supernatural addition later, and you'll say, like David, it was good for me that I was afflicted, that I might learn your statutes. Psalm 119 banding 71. Because this pain is a prophecy, and it's proof that the move has already started. Let's talk about the part of the move no one sees, the internal cost, the invisible battle that plays out inside your thoughts, your feelings, your faith. Because what God is preparing for you and your family isn't just a shift in location, it's a shift in posture. And before you ever pack a single bag in the natural, God starts moving things around in your spirit, and you've been feeling it, haven't you? That strange tension where your desires feel like they've outgrown your mindset, where your dreams feel louder than your doubts, where everything around you looks the same, but something inside you is restless, and that's because your next location can't be occupied with your current level of thinking, and God is using this season to stretch the parts of you that are still clinging to survival when He's trying to move you into strategy, but the stretching feels like suffering. At first it feels like heaviness in your chest for no reason, like battles with thoughts that used to be easy to overcome, like a fog over your decisions that used to be clear, and it makes you feel like something's wrong. But God is saying today, nothing is wrong with you. Everything is shifting in you. And it's supposed to feel unfamiliar because when God is elevating your life, He first has to deconstruct the version of you that was built in fear. And that's what's breaking now. Your addiction to perfection, your obsession with control, your need to see every detail before you obey. And this part of the move is the hardest, because it's lonely in your mind. No one else can see the war between your belief and your trauma, your vision and your past, your calling and your current capacity. But God sees it all. And He says, I'm not punishing you, I'm preparing you. And the preparation looks like pressure, but pressure makes capacity, and capacity births clarity. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12:2, and that renewing doesn't happen in one prayer. It happens in persistence, in getting back up when the doubt wins again, in choosing to speak faith even when fear screams louder, in reminding yourself that just because you don't feel ready doesn't mean God didn't call you. And right now, God is showing you the mental patterns that can't move with you, the cycles of overthinking, the fear of success, the trauma of abandonment that makes you sabotage good things, the exhaustion of pretending to be strong when you're tired inside. And He's not condemning you, He's confronting you because you prayed to be used. And now He's breaking the inner walls that block your usefulness. And it hurts, not because God is harsh, but because He's holy, and holiness requires wholeness. And the move He's making in your life now can't be sustained by a fractured foundation. So He's not just elevating your platform, He's deepening your roots, and you've noticed it. Your appetite is changing, your conversations feel different, your tolerance for spiritual noise is decreasing, your craving for quiet is increasing. And that's not depression, it's distinction. God is separating you emotionally so He can speak to you clearly. And don't be surprised if you start waking up early again, if you start crying during worship, if you feel drawn back to old journals, old prophecies, childhood memories, because He's not just stretching you forward, He's healing you backward. He's redeeming time by restoring your identity. And that identity will be your passport to the next land. And you'll realize it wasn't just about moving houses. It was about moving from fear to faith, from survival to sonship, from cycles to covenant. And yes, it's uncomfortable. But this mental pressure is producing miraculous clarity. And soon, you'll say, like David, "You broaden the path beneath me, so that my ankles do not turn somjumdalapan blas lewa tigapulana minute." Because what once felt too heavy now feels holy, and what once confused you now confirms you. And when the thoughts come back to fight you, just whisper, "I'm not breaking down, I'm breaking through, because this is the cost, and this is the proof that you're moving." One of the hardest parts about obeying a divine move is not the hearing, it's the how. How will we afford it? How will we survive the in-between? How will we take care of our families? How will we step out in faith when the bills are real? The responsibilities are weighty, and the numbers don't make sense, and God says, "Beloved, I never told you to provide. I told you to obey. And what I command, I cover, and what I instruct, I fund. And my God shall supply all your need, according to his riches in glory by Christ Jesus." Philippians 4:19, not according to your paycheck, not according to your current bank account, but according to his glory. And his glory is never broke, never delayed, never confused. And that's why this word found you today, because God is confronting the part of you that is trying to budget your obedience, trying to see how it all adds up before you say yes. But in this season, the math will never make sense before the miracle, because this is faith math. And faith math is not logical, it is spiritual, it's supernatural, it's strategic. It shows up after you move, not before, and this is the cost. Trusting provision when it doesn't feel visible. Believing you're provided for just because you're positioned, not because you're comfortable. And God says, "I will fund the vision that I wrote, not the one you feared your way into." And that's why he's asking you to release the backup plans, the false security nets, the people you're hoping will bail you out, because he's about to release provision from unexpected places, favor from strangers, income from directions you didn't sow into, ideas that create revenue without striving, divine interruptions that shift your whole financial reality. I will give you the treasures of darkness and hidden riches of secret places. Isaiah 45:3. And yes, it's going to be hidden at first, not because God is teasing you, but because he wants you to trust him, not chase the gift. And some of you are thinking, "God, I don't want to move if it means struggling again." And God is responding. The struggle is ending with this move, not because you'll suddenly be rich, but because you'll finally be aligned. And where there is alignment, there is always abundance. And I don't just mean money. I mean mental abundance, energy that flows freely, relationships that don't drain you, strategies that come without stress, ideas that solve real problems. And those things, they pay for themselves, because this move isn't just about location. It's about unlocking the economy of your obedience. And when you obey, you don't attract hustle, you attract harvest. And God says, "You've hustled long enough. Now I want to provide through grace." And yes, it might still look tight at first, but pay attention. Favor is creeping into your life in the smallest details. Refunds you didn't expect, people sending you money out of nowhere, jobs asking for your gift, partnerships being offered. And these are not coincidences. They are confirmations that the move has already begun in heaven. Now you just need to catch up to it on earth. And don't let fear of how keep you from where the Israelites didn't have food in the desert either. But God sent manna, daily, sufficient, quiet, and that's what's coming to you now. Daily, sufficient, quiet miracles, the kind that won't make headlines, but will keep you going. And the longer you stay in alignment, the more abundant it becomes, until you're walking in lands you didn't buy, resting in homes you didn't build, reaping from fields you didn't plant. So it shall be, when the Lord your God brings you into the land, to give you large and beautiful cities, which you did not build. Deuteronomy 6:10, and that's the prophecy. This next move is going to be paid for by the heaven that called you into it. So stop looking at your wallet and start looking at your obedience, because the miracle isn't funded by money. It's funded by faith, and you're not going to move broke. You're going to move backed by heaven. There's a part of every move no one warns you about, the emotional weight that hits when you're stepping into something beautiful, but you still feel heavy, anxious, or even sad, and you start asking yourself, shouldn't I be excited? Shouldn't I feel free right now? Why does joy come with this ache in my chest? And this is where the enemy tries to confuse you, tries to whisper lies like if it were God, it wouldn't feel like this. Or maybe you're not strong enough for the blessing. But beloved, hear the word of the Lord today. You are not failing emotionally, you are stretching spiritually. And stretching always feels like sadness at first, not because something is wrong, but because you are grieving the version of you that no longer fits where you're going. And that grief is holy, it's sacred. It's a sign that your spirit is maturing faster than your emotions can keep up. And that's okay. God's not rushing you, He's walking with you. And yes, the move is blessed. Yes, it's right. Yes, it's beautiful, but that doesn't mean it's not heavy, because anytime you become the first in your family to step into something new, the spiritual weight is real, the pressure to succeed, the fear of failing them, the guilt of leaving some behind, the tension of feeling chosen and targeted at the same time. And God says, I see you carrying what you can't explain to others. And I call it obedience, not weakness. I call it sacred, not selfish, because this move is bigger than you. It's about legacy, about breaking patterns that your bloodline thought were permanent, about shifting your children's future by walking away from what's always been. And that's why it feels like emotional warfare some days, because you're literally breaking generational cycles with your decisions. And those spirits don't go quietly. They fight through mental fatigue, through emotional breakdowns, through random moments of deep sadness. But God says, you are not crazy, you are not weak, you are carrying prophetic pressure, and I've assigned angels to help you in ways you can't see yet. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Isaiah 40, banding 29. And beloved, He's doing that for you even now, even in your sighs, your silent prayers, your journal pages soaked with tears. He sees all of it, and He's strengthening you from the inside out. And don't mistake tiredness for disobedience. Sometimes the tired ones are the most obedient ones, because they're still walking, still trusting, still showing up for their family, still speaking the word even when they don't feel it. And God says, that's maturity, and I can build with that. And this is where your emotional upgrade happens. You stop asking, God, will you make it easier? And start saying, God, make me stronger. And you stop begging for signs and start walking by faith. And the heaviness doesn't disappear overnight, but you start recognizing it not as a problem, but as a proof, a sign that you are carrying something holy, something costly, something sacred. And yes, it may feel like no one around you understands, But that's because no one around you is being assigned the same weight. And if God gave you the burden, it's because He's also giving you the capacity. You're not breaking down, you're breaking open into deeper faith, deeper discernment, deeper compassion, deeper emotional intelligence, and this emotional cost. It's preparing you to walk into your next without carrying the pain of your last. Because this time, when you arrive, you won't just survive it, you'll be whole in it. Those who sow in tears shall reap with songs of joy. Psalm 126:5, and that's the word you are sowing in tears now. But the reaping will be joy, peace, legacy, and freedom. And when you look back, you'll say, it was heavy, but it was holy, and I didn't quit. Nobody talks about the warfare that erupts right before God moves you. How everything you prayed for starts feeling like it's falling apart. How the promises begin to feel like pressure, and how the very moment you start moving in obedience, everything around you starts acting up. The finances get weird, the emotions get heavier, the people closest to you start misunderstanding you, and your sleep is attacked with strange dreams or restless nights, and you start wondering, God, why does it feel like the moment I obeyed you, hell broke loose? And God says today, it's because the enemy knows something is breaking off your bloodline the moment you step forward. And that's why the warfare got louder, because the obedience got deeper. And what you're experiencing is not punishment. It's proof of progress, and the enemy doesn't attack what's stagnant. He attacks what's about to shift. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life. John 10:10, and beloved, he's been trying to steal your peace, kill your momentum, destroy your clarity. But what he didn't know is that this pressure is only making you sharper, hungrier, bolder, more prayerful than you've ever been. And that's why you're still here, still pushing, still prophesying over your family even when you feel the warfare closing in. And God says, that's what makes you dangerous. You keep showing up even when you're scared. You keep declaring the word even when your voice shakes. And that kind of resilience terrifies the enemy, because it proves that this isn't religion for you, it's relationship, and you've been forged in the fire. And now, even the storm doesn't shake your worship. But let's be honest, it's been intense lately, not just physically, but spiritually. Thoughts have come out of nowhere. Anxiety has crept into places that used to be peaceful. Warfare has hit your rest, your confidence, your vision, and it's made you question if you're really ready for the shift. But here's the prophetic truth. You're not under attack because you're wrong. You're under attack because you're finally in position, and the enemy is panicking, not because of who you were, but because of who you're becoming, and he can't stop the move. But he'll try to delay it with discouragement, distractions, and detours. But what he forgot is that your armor has been upgraded. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. Ephesians 6:11, and you're doing that now, not with perfection, but with persistence. And every time you get up and pray, every time you choose worship over worry, every time you speak life when hell is whispering fear, you are winning this war. And the resistance you feel, it's not denial, it's spiritual turbulence. It means the plane is taking off. The altitude is changing, the environment is shifting, and you have to stay buckled in the spirit, stay rooted, stay planted, stay quiet when provoked, stay peaceful when triggered, because that's your warfare now, resting while the storm rages. And some of the delays were demonic, but most of them were divine, because God was stretching your discernment, your spiritual weight, the ability to hear him under pressure. And this move, It's going to require spiritual strength you didn't have last year. So he trained you in private for what he's about to expose publicly. And the warfare was not a sign of failure. It was a sign of graduation. And now that you've endured, God is saying, you're ready, not perfect, but postured, not flawless, but faithful. And he's about to confirm your obedience in such a way that even the demons will flee. Submit to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. James 4:7. And yes, you'll feel one last push of resistance before you cross over. But when it comes, smile, because that final battle is always the loudest before the greatest breakthrough. This is it, the final stretch, the moment where everything comes into focus and you finally realize that what God is doing in your life was never just about you, that this move, this shift, this holy migration into a new season, a new place, a new mindset was always about something bigger. It was about your family, your bloodline, your legacy, your name, and if it's been costly, painful, stretching, and lonely, it's because God is trusting you with a breakthrough that will outlive you. A shift so supernatural that your children's children will benefit from the yes you gave in private and the final cost. Beloved, the last layer of sacrifice God is asking from you is this: let go of who you were so you can walk into who He made you to be, fully, without apology, without hesitation, without waiting for anyone else to agree with it, because the final cost is your identity as you've known it. The safe version, the quiet version, the agreeable version, the one who shrank when others couldn't handle your light, the one who played small to keep others comfortable, the one who hid their gift to stay accepted. And God says, this place I'm moving you into won't let you hide anymore, because this move is not just geographic, it's prophetic. It's about positioning you in a space where your voice must be heard, your anointing must be seen, your strength must be honored, your faith must be bold. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. Isaiah 9 banding Sato, and this time, when you rise, you won't just rise. For yourself, you'll rise with the weight of every woman in your family who didn't get this chance, every man who gave up before the promise came, every child who never saw a healthy example of love, leadership, or obedience. You are the one. And it's been heavy because it's been holy. It's cost you friendships, comfort, clarity, time, and tears. But look at you now, still standing, still believing, still listening for God's voice even when you felt forgotten. And heaven is saying today, I saw the nights you cried and kept going. I saw the moments you wanted to quit but didn't. I saw the times you had to carry everyone while no one carried you. And I say to you now, this is the place I've prepared for you, not just a home, not just an opportunity, but a harvest of obedience, and you'll find yourself standing in moments you didn't even know you prayed for. Peace that doesn't make sense, connections that honor you, ideas that open doors, favor that flows with ease, and you'll know it wasn't random, it was redemptive. After you have suffered a little while, the God of all grace will Himself restore you and make you strong, firm, and steadfast. 1 Peter 5:10. And that's what's coming. Restoration in every area that was ripped apart by delay, by fear, by warfare, and your family, they'll follow, not because you forced them, but because the light in you is too bright to ignore. And even those who doubted you will have to say, surely the hand of God was on their life, and your children will not suffer like you did. They will inherit peace, clarity, spiritual legacy, emotional intelligence, and heaven's covering. And you'll sit in that new place one day, maybe quietly, maybe tearfully, and whisper, This cost me more than I can explain. But it was worth it, and you'll hear the Father respond, "Well done," and the heavens will smile, because the move is now complete, and the vessel has been made ready.